Yeah, man. Thank you, Anton. Thank you, Megan. Yeah,
Thanks,
take care.
Bye.
All right, guys, that was Steven Bass, our correspondent for this episode this season of The Ultimate Fighter Season 14, Michael Bisping versus Jason Mayhem Miller. And speaking about Mayhem, Megan, let me tell you real quick, right, because I
Tell
know,
me what.
you know, you're new to this with being the co-host, but let me tell you somebody who's not new to this. DannyDee1 Davis Jr. And let me explain something to y'all. Like, this show's been around for 112 episodes, but before this show was ever an episode, DannyDee1 Davis was my very first interview, and he was just getting into his very first pro fight. Like, this dude goes back history-wise like fighting does to the streets. And I'm not talking like your street or your neighbor's street. I'm talking about the concrete. I'm talking the real stuff. Like, this cat been repping 702 and Fisticuff Radio for so long. This dude is like bona fide family. Like, this is my brother from another mother. DannyDee1 Davis, what's good, family? How you doing?
Yo, what's up, what's up?
Yo. Man, I can't wait.
It's always wonderful.
I can't wait. I can't wait. Like, Megan, let me tell you something. Danny's
Tell
like,
me what.
this is real talk. You're going to love to talk to Danny because you're going to have so much to talk to him about.
Anton's going to talk about himself and forget to tell me.
No, here it is. Like, Danny's a straight-up Muay Thai fighter, right? You look back at Danny's like...
Did you just say Muay Thai?
Come on, man. I've been drinking some Newcastle. Why you got to give me shit? Okay, he's a Thai fighter. That works better for you, so I don't mispronounce things, because I'm not Brazilian and I'm not freaking from the Philippines and I'm not from Thailand and I don't speak other languages. I speak white Ebonics. Other than that, I'm pretty much worthless. But Danny's a Thai fighter. But ask Danny. I just want you to ask Danny how he's been doing in the jiu-jitsu world. Just ask him, because you're a jiu-jitsu girl. I want you to ask him.
Okay, so Danny.
Yes.
My name's
What's up,
Megan.
man?
It's nice to meet you.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
I guess I'm supposed to ask you, what have you been doing in the jiu-jitsu world?
Man, I've been stepping it up. You know, I haven't done too many big, like federation tournaments, but I've been under Robert Drysdale and second year for like the last 2 years, and really just spent a lot of time on the mat. You know what I'm saying? Took some golds here at some local Nagas here in Vegas recently, and just, you know, been working my ground game diligently. I'm in there, you know, on the mats with sharks every day. You know what I'm saying? Over at Drysdale Jiu-Jitsu here in Vegas. So, man, you see a pool of talent, and you know, being there in the gym, you know, that's where the fight's won. You know what I'm saying? Away from the cage, the night of the fight, it's always won in the gym. You know what I'm saying? So it's like just being there and training with elite guys, you know, guys you see in the UFC, you know, guys you see in Strikeforce and Bellator and whatnot. It really helps my confidence out, and you know, I can roll with the best of them. Well,
Naga's not a small tournament. Naga's the one that gives out the swords, right?
Yeah.
Have you won any swords yet?
I got gold medals. I think the swords for the kids I'm not sure exactly, but I when I won them, I got like 2 gold medals.
Gold medals, that sounds fun. I always look at the Naga ones and I'm like, man, I want a sword. What division do I got to enter to get a sword?
Yeah.
No, and have you seen them? The swords are sick. They're awesome. I'm just saying.
You probably got to change the birthday on your driver's license.
It's fine. You know what? I'll compete on my knees. It's cool. I don't know. So what's it like to train with Drysdale? Because he is, you know, he's an amazing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner. What kind of stuff do you guys work on there?
Man, dude's a beast. You know what I'm saying? Like, very aggressive style. You know, he's always looking for
Hello?
finish. You know what I'm saying? Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, my bad. But I said, dude's a beast, you know, like he's got a very aggressive style. He's always looking for submission, you know, and that's what he teaches us, you know, playing a few moves ahead, you know, great setups, you know. I do a lot of no-gi with him. I do gi here and there a couple times a week, but mostly I do a lot of no-gi. And, man, he's just always showing us how to finish the roll, you know, how to look for that submission and catch guys, you know. He's got some slick stuff. A lot of fundamentals, you know, he doesn't try to make it rocket science, you know, he sticks to the basics, he sticks to things that work, and that's what he teaches and preaches. So, man, being with Robert Drysdale, man, that dude's awesome. That's big homie. Shout out to Drysdale and everybody at Drysdale Jiu-Jitsu.
Danny, what's your favorite technique to work on?
You know what, I like a lot with front headlock, you know, front headlock, using the lasso, you know, setting up some darces, setting up the guillotines. I got some long arms, so I can slip in those chokes pretty well, and, you know, had a lot of success with the summer last position.
All right, D. So, I've talked to you a lot, man. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Like I said, your family around this place, to me, as far as I'm concerned, like, you got your own spot in the barbershop. You got your own chair. So I got to ask this, though, bro. Like, I asked this a long time ago. I mean, it's probably been a year since I asked this question, but coming over from the stand-up game and now transition over to the jiu-jitsu game, like, you've been here for a minute. It's not new ground for you. Like, I don't want to say the water's deep for you anymore, especially when in Naga and so forth, so on, and training with Mir and Robert Drysdale. But, like, what is still the hardest thing for you to this day to get accustomed to? Because, I mean, like, for me, I think regardless, you're always going to be a stand-up fighter. Like, if you get your choice, you're going to be like Doomsday. You're going to want the fight to stand up. You're going to want to stand on the feet. You're going to want to bang. That's your world. It's going to always be your world. But what's the hardest part for you to get used to still this deep in the game with the jiu-jitsu world?
I guess one of my things is, like, if I'm going against the big guys and just, have an easier time getting that off my back, this last fight, I actually had a little issue with that. It was third round, so it was in the round, so, fatigue might have been a factor, but that's definitely one element. And you know what, to be honest, nowadays, it's not so much the actual jiu-jitsu per se. I think it's more the wrestling. I think people are forgetting wrestling is a major part of the sport as well, and that's something I've been working a lot on with guys like Ricky Lundell. We just got done helping Joe Lozon out for his fight. Ricky's another excellent grappler out there that's been showing me a lot more on the the wrestling aspect, the control, the catch wrestling, and I think that's something that also I've been having a lot of, actually a lot more fun learning and developing in my game, because if your wrestling is good, you dictate whether the fight stays up or if it goes down or if you get back up. So I think jiu-jitsu is definitely a major role in MMA, but I think wrestling is also something that's being overlooked, and people, they try to group it all together with grappling, but sometimes you got to break it down further into those details, and so wrestling is something I've been focusing on a lot lately too.
So can I ask you this, man, because I say this like every 2 weeks on this show, like, I always say, you ask me to go to Muay Thai class, you ask me to go to a, jiu-jitsu class, you ask me to go to boxing class, any of those I'm going to go. But you ask me to go to some freaking wrestling class, like, hey, man, I'm sick. Hey, I'm drunk. I'm drinking beer. Hey, man, I'm sorry, my girl need me tonight. Like, I hate wrestling, dog. Like, I've been in one wrestling tournament in my life, and I got done running the two-mile cross-country run, like, literally 15 minutes before I needed to get on the mat. Like, my mom picked me up, drove me there. I had 15 minutes to change from my running clothes to my singlet, go out there, and I got mopped, bro. Like, beat up. Like the freaking homeless kid down the block got beat up back in school. I mean, I got trashed. And I hate wrestling. Like, I had no reason to want to wrestle. Like, forget you. I'm going to try to knock you out if you can wrestle. You're going to beat me up. Simple as that. Like, I tap you in, I'm out. Like, do you hate wrestling? Like, I got to ask that. The real question, though. I mean, I want the honest-to-God answer. Like, when you know it's wrestling practice, are you like, I hate this mother effing day. Like, I wish today would already be tomorrow.
When I was in high school, I used to always laugh at the wrestlers and think that it was hella gay. You had to wear leotards and you all, wrestling with dudes and stuff. But now I look back and I wish so bad that I would have took it. I mean, it would have probably helped my game out tremendously. So, it's one of those things where you don't want to really go, but once you get there after about 5-10 minutes after warm-up's done and you really get into the action of it, you forget about all that and all that goes out the window. And I remember, I'm training to be a champion. So those days that I might not like, those are the days I most need to go to. I need to show up. That's the day I need to show up on the mat and, get slammed a few times, get taken down a few times, really push myself to that. Because it's also a grueling pace, there's a lot of cardio involved, a lot of muscle stamina involved. And, those days when I feel like breaking down and my body's beat up, my shoulders are aching, I need to do it. I got to go get in a couple more takedowns. I got to drill a couple more defenses. Because, that's the stuff that makes champions. I really feel MMA is evolving to a level to where you can't just be a one specialty type of fighter. You better have a great secondary as well. So, I think wrestling, man, like, even though, I don't always like it, but, man, it's fun. To me, anything new, that's a challenge. That's what I'm about, and that's why I probably left, Muay Thai, because I needed that next challenge, you know what I'm saying? And learning jiu-jitsu, learning wrestling, learning the overall MMA game, it does, mental wonders for me. So that's where I'm at.
All right, I got to ask this, D. Like, okay, so you talked about the heart of a champion, all this. Like, for people who don't know, like, you just made your Strikeforce debut. And as far as I know, it wasn't on, like, normal time schedule for most cats. Like, you kind of took the fight on short notice. You stepped in.
9 days.
Yeah. 9 days. Nine effing days. Like, I told Drew, I said, hey, I'm not going to cuss. And when I got you on the show, it's hard for me not to just to let loose and really become who I am and bring out the hood. So I'm really trying to keep things toned down. I'm locking it down for you, Drew. I promise you I love you. So I'm locking it down. But
hey, shout out to
9
you, like,
effing days. Like 9 effing days, dude. Who take the Strikeforce debut on 9 effing days other than a dude who's hungry? Like, I remember you when you was making your King of the Cage debut. I remember when you were fighting MMA Explosion. You know, I remember D1 fighting SDC. Like, I remember all this. I've seen it from the start to now. Like, talk to me about getting that call and knowing that you only had 9 days to prepare for a fight where you worked dude over for 2 rounds and ended up getting caught with something in the third. And I don't want to take nothing away from it, but go back and watch the fight, folks. Like, D1 worked dude for the whole first 2 rounds. Like, it was a clinic almost.
Oh, yeah. You know, at first when I got the call, obviously I was very excited, and I was just kind of happy I stayed in the gym after my SEC fight back in August. You know, so I was pretty, you know, and in the most killer fight shape, but I was still in good shape. I didn't just, you know, take the month off and party or anything. So once we got the call, man, you know, me and my coach, Richie, that name, we went ahead and, you know, looked over the record, looked over who the dudes fought, looked at the footage we could find. You know, I felt I could take them, you know what I'm saying? And for any opportunity like that, you know, that's the fighter's dream, you know, to fight in something like Strikeforce or the UFC or Bellator. So, you know, it only took me a couple hours. You know, I think I got the call like 1 p.m. I was leaving Drysdale's Jiu-Jitsu, so I had this like 8 calls from Richie. I was like, man, something must be wrong. And I called him and he told me about the offer. I was like, man, everything must be right. So then, you know, about 4 o'clock, I gave him the call and let him know let's do it. He called Sean Shelby. And we locked it in, you know, and we moved forward, you know, because I'm a fighter. That's what I do. I'm going to fight for it. So, you know, like, it was a good fight. It was tough. You know what I'm saying? Quinn Mulhern, you know, shout out to him. You know, you got the great record, 16-2, former King of the Cage champion, you know. But I really do feel like it came out and I got the fight. I really dominated the first 2 rounds. You know, the beginning of the third was, you know, up in the air. And, you know, he did give me with submission. And, you know, that's where maybe if I would have had another 5 weeks in the camp, I would have made up for the difference. But overall, man, to be honest, I'm a hella happy motherfucker right now. I got signed to Strikeforce. You know, Sean Shelby was very pleased with my performance. You know, depending on if Strikeforce is still going to be here, you know, all that stuff's in the air with Showtime and whatnot. But if they are, I'm pretty sure you're going to see me again fight for Strikeforce real soon. So overall, it's win, you know, in my book, as far as in my game of life. You know, like you said, just two and a half years ago, I was making my pro debut on King of the Cage, and just 2 weeks ago, here I am fighting for one of the biggest shows on earth. So, man, to me, you know, it's definitely a win. And man, I take opportunities. I don't close the door when it comes knocking.
Man, hey, let me tell you real talk, homie. Like, D, you make me smile, dog. Like, no homo. I have not used it this month, so I'm gonna throw it out there. My one time, I get one pass for all you cats that are listening for your first time. I get to use no homo one time in 4 shows. So, and we're talking 2-hour shows, 4 different guests. So there's a lot of time for that to come out. But I'm saying no homo. Like, you make me smile, dog, because I remember you know, making your King of the Cage debut. I remember when you lost your first fight, and it wasn't because you tapped, but it was a verbal submission because you were grunting too loudly, trying to get out of an arm.
Okay.
Like, I remember being physically upset and mentally upset and, like, you know, dropping F this, F that on the air over that, you know. So, like, I've seen this growth, this you know, progression of a fighter from DannyDee1 Davis to DannyDee1 Davis, a Strikeforce signed fighter, you know. So, like, man, it makes me really happy to hear, you know, that, like, you're getting these opportunities, because I know how much time you put in the gym. I know how much time you put in the fight game, and I know where you've been, and I know where you're going, and I know where you come from. So for me, like, there's a certain joy about this. And, like, I always say people are the homie and people are the friends, but I mean, like, you really are family on this show, D. Like, it's been a long time, and I've always said since day one, since I got that chance to interview you over the phone, and the whole entire tape recorder messed up, and I had to go back and re-record everything a second time. Like, man, ride or die, dog. Like, we are part of DannyDee1 Davis Jr., the rapper/scrapper. Like, no question about it, man. blood in, blood out to the death, to the death of it, man. Forget the day of it, to the death of it. Like, so, man, I just have to tell you, like, it makes me happy to hear you have this mentality still and to see where you've been and to see where you are now and where you're going, man. I just can't wait. Like, I really hope cats are listening to this show, like, take a chance to really pick up on this train because that's what it is, man. It's been a train, and it's been moving forward. I mean, I remember when you were at Fossey, now you were training with Frank Mir. You're no longer doing, Thai fights. You're doing MMA. Like, it's just been such a progression for you, man. Like, talk to me about the emotion that comes with actually sitting down tonight because I know everybody in this sport takes a minute to think about where they started and where they're at currently, whether you're 1-0 or 0-5 or 20-0, whatever it is. Like, how is it to sit down tonight and be like, man, this is really where I'm at? Like, I fought in Strike Force. I trained with Frank Mir. I mean, talk to me about those emotions, man.
Man, you know what? Fighting, man, it might be a very physical sport, but it's more of an emotional sport. You know what I'm saying? Like, your feelings go all over the place. You feel some of the lowest lows when you take a loss. You feel even lower if you take a loss that you're going to really lose. But when you win, you know what I'm saying, everything else, nothing else in the world matters. And then when you're in that cage, nothing else in the world matters but the present moment. And, that's why they call it the present, because it's the present. And, that's some of my most happiest times. I'm doing what I love. I'm living my dream. I'm being a living example to everybody else in the world that, they can live their dreams. And, coming from where I come from the straight hood, man. A lot of people don't know that they see a nice dude and they, now I'm going to see more nicer things. But I come straight out the streets of Las Vegas and, I've been in juvenile institutions and crazy things like that. So just to see this dream start to come to more fruition every day, I feel blessed. I'm very happy. But like I said, like when you take the losses, man, like sometimes you wonder why you put yourself through this, and it's like the worst feeling in the world, and it can linger a couple days. Like after I took this loss to Strike Force, even though I know I had like an awesome performance, like man, it took me a week to get over the feeling. It stays with you. And I think that's where your heart comes in. You got to stay strong. You got to keep pushing forward. You got to know that. You got to know that your heart's in the right place and that you're moving forward confidently and that you have that faith, man. If anything, faith. Because, like I said, the phone call came out of nowhere, like out the blue. I'm looking at the calendar, like how many fights and more am I going to get in this year? So maybe next year I can make the debut, So that the call came and I was very ecstatic, you know what I'm saying? But, man, MMA is such a whirlwind of emotions. You can feel it all. Sometimes you get angry. Sometimes you're like, man, I wish I wouldn't have made this mistake. So you get mad at yourself. Sometimes you even start to try to blame your camp and people around you. Well, if such and such would have coached me better, or if maybe he would have said this instead of said that. And it's all momental, you know what I mean? And just the emotion of the moment. Sometimes you realize when you start to calm down, okay, it wasn't the person's fault. It's always going to be ultimately my responsibility and my up to me to make it happen. So, man, it feels good. I think this is what living life is about, feeling all these different emotions. So I can really say that I'm living a life and not just making a living now, and it's every day I get happy, I'm saying, I got a lot of friends now, what I'm saying, and if I ever feel lonely, I open up the book and people are just always hollering and showing love, and I think that's what the world is about, you give love, you receive love, and you keep moving, and hopefully everyone's life gets more enriched by the day.
Hey, and speaking of that, man, I'm on Facebook the whole damn show, so I got to give you a minute to give a shout-out to everybody on your last post, man, so do your thing.
All right, man, yeah, that shout out to everybody, that's following me, the D1, the rapper / scrapper, all my friends on Facebook that like the status, and listening right now, saying big shouts out. Let's start from the top of the list to the bottom. Let's go, big shout out Chris Barton, Glenn McLeish. Bristol Marun is going to fight for the SEC middleweight belt November 4th at the Orleans Arena. Joe Ruiz, the Muay Thai magician Jason Crank, that's the big homie who's been following me for a long time as well. Jimmy Hapsity, Kate McCollum, Jude Dominguez, Drew, Eric Kelly, Rudy Panamatuan from Chicago, my boy Johnny Las Vegas from PMC, Mikey Slimy, I call him Mikey Slimy, but Mikey Slyman from Anytime Bell Bonds, Shuri King, BC Cultures, Marlena Ponce, shout out to Nevada's Children's Centers, Waylon Angelias, Clayton Loud, Ian Angelias, Jose Gomez, Killer Country, Marty Mendoza, my brother out in Korea serving for the Air Force, Robert Lee Sawyer II, and Eric Christian Haynes. And one last one, my boy K9, man, always show me love. That's my brother right there. And Jonathan Ballgame, man. Everyone on Facebook, find for a big shout out, a lot of love. You know what I'm saying? Also got to shout out my whole fight team, you know what I'm saying? Drive Jiu Jitsu, Frank Mayer, everyone that suffered, Bad Name Fighting. And, man, life is wonderful.
Damn, son. Did you just really do it like that? Did you just really, like, drop 2 minutes to, like, shout out? I'm telling y'all, real talk, like, this is the thing. Like, I always try to tell people, this sport is so small. Like, it's ridiculous how small this sport is. Like, if you know somebody and you're in the sport, you probably know somebody else who knows somebody that knows the person you know. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one big family. And obviously there's people who hate people in the family, but it's still one big family to me. It reminds me of, like, a Tyler Perry movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, MMA is a Tyler Perry movie, no question about it. It could be Big Mama's House or it could be whatever else you want to throw in that mix. But, man, I got to say, D, like, I just love watching you progress, man. Like, the more this game goes on, the longer you're in this game, like, I just get happy because it's nice to see homies, you know, that are local doing their thing. And like you said, man, like, you're from the hood. Like, you're from Las Vegas, you know what I'm saying? We're cats cut from the same cloth at different spots, you know? And, it's just nice to hear that, like you're an inspiration story to cats. You know what I'm saying? Like, there is opportunities out there for dudes to make right and not be caught up in the mix and end up getting in spots where they shouldn't be. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you've done it, I'm doing it. Like, there's no question about it. It's just a matter of mind over matter. Like, does it matter? And if it does, then it should mind. And if it don't matter, it shouldn't mind. You know what I'm saying? So, man, I got to say thank you a ton. You know, it's always great to have you on the show. I want to give you a minute to thank any sponsor. Give a shout-out to anybody that you got, D.
Oh, yeah, shout-out to my manager, Jesse, you know what I'm saying, Roy Nelson, for helping out with my sponsorships for my last fight, MMAGloryTalent.com, Training Mass, Camp Pilates, Kaizen Sushi, Lexani, Iron Brand, Trainer's Room, Station Casinos, and like I said, all my training partners, everyone at my gyms, and everyone who's been following me from the jump and who just started following me, much love. Keep following your boy. Bigger things to come. And shout out to, man, Facebook Cup Radio, ProMMANow.com. And that's where it's at. Much love for you, man. And Tom, man, I can't appreciate you. Can't tell you how much I appreciate you, man, bro. It's like, it's been a long road, and we got a journey to go, and, man, I'm blessed being here with you.
Man, it's just the beginning, homie. It's just the beginning. Like, I promise everybody, you know, the two people I can promise you is going to be at the top of the mountain, whether you like it or not, is D1 and Anton Scoro, you know, Fist Cup Radio, the whole crew here. We're going to be on the top party, and so you can either jump on board and make the hike with us, or you can stay here at the bottom of the hill, because I promise you one thing, we ain't quitting until we at the top. D, you know it's always an honor, man. It ain't nothing but love. It ain't nothing but blood, family. I can't wait to have you back on the show, and trust and believe it'll be sooner than later, man. Thank you a ton for giving us some time tonight. And, Danny, you know, man, nothing but love, dog.
Yes, sir. Much love, man. Stay up, homie.
No doubt, homie. I'll get at you. Peace. All right, guys, so that was DannyDee1 Davis Jr., yes, sir, the rapper/scrapper. Hey, you can follow us at Mr. Cup Radio.